Well, the symptoms I had originally were from acute prostatitis. When I originally had that infection, it was so bad I couldn't sit down. It was hell, for a long time, for probably a year and a half. Couldn't really get those symptoms under control.
You have symptoms of the enlarged prostate. You can't urinate. Your urination is intermittent. You're going to get up anywhere from 1 to 4 times a night on any night, sometimes most every night. But I haven't had any problems with my urination, with my flow, my urine flow. Haven't had any problems with getting up at night. If I have to get up at night, maybe once a night. I'm emptying my bladder each time with BPH. You very seldom, chronic BPH, you very seldom ever empty your bladder on one go. You always have to go back just a few minutes later and empty your bladder. I haven't had any problems with that.
I went to 2 urologists, and they pretty much told me I need to have prostate removal, radical.
Any heavy metals in your system will affect any of your organs. In my case, it has affected my prostate. I had a heavy metals test done several years ago. Found that I was very high in a couple of them, one being arsenic. I'm thinking that I got my arsenic from handling the old pressure-treated lumber, because I used to do a lot of carpentry work.
What's causing this? What do I really need to address? But they really didn't have any explanation for that, what the cause was, basically bacterial infection to them, and they were just used to their routine protocol was just more antibiotics.
Well, I'd used all kinds of herbal things, epilobium, just every prostate product that you see on the counter. None of it seemed to have an appreciable effect. I did some natural chelation in the past, but that had no effect on my symptoms. The symptoms that I was having were constant. One was blood in my semen, and it would get worse and it would get better, but it was always there. And that was also associated with just the discomfort I found in sitting from, I don't know what you could call it, prostatitis, I guess, but there was some inflammation there. Those were things that prompted the biopsy that caused them to identify the prostate cancer. And I saw them as associated with the cancer, so it was always a concern of mine when they got worse. In any case, as I've been treating the cancer, I really didn't see an improvement in those symptoms. On a number of occasions when I was being scanned, the doctor would tell me that it looked like a stone here or a stone there might be causing those problems. So that was the state that I was in when I started the Detoxamin program.
The fact that it wasn't for every day of the week gave me a break to where, it wasn't so overbearing, day after day after day, right on for the 90 days. Just the 4 days was great, and then you get 3 days off, and then the 4 days again. Taking the suppository at night was very easy to do.
Mm-hmm. The protocol was very easy to follow.
There was no difficulty at all in complying with the program. I didn't deviate from it at all for the full 3 months.
It involved simply, attending to the supplements, which I took in the morning and evening, and, doing the suppository and the tetracycline every evening. There was no discomfort from the suppository. It's just a matter of using it and forgetting about it.
It's just an amazing little simple routine to do. My personal feeling was that because the suppository was inserted in an area that's very close to the organ that I wanted to, affect, that it was probably going to do a lot better being right in that area than any other.
Well, as soon as I started the Detoxamin program, I noticed that I had some less discomfort when I sat. Now, those symptoms would come and go, and I wasn't sure that it was associated with the Detoxamin program. But by 4 weeks into the program, I was pretty sure that was related, because my level of discomfort was less than it had been for years. And then the other thing that I noticed is probably for 6 years, 5 or 6 years, I had blood in my semen. It was just something I lived with. I was told I shouldn't be concerned about it, but I knew it was clearly indicative of something. So 4 weeks after I started the Detoxamin program, there was no blood in my semen, and there hasn't been since then.
Prior to getting involved in this, I had some urinary dribble, and which has been almost totally eliminated. I have a good stream now, and which is kind of the neat thing. I feel that all doctors should test for the heavy metals because they play such an important role in any of the prostate ailments.
It was a joy to know that I could go to work, I could sit and I could concentrate, and then I could plan on doing other things, other activities, without thinking about it all the time, because for a period of 2 years, that's all I thought about. Over the course of the protocol, I felt my energy level improving and increasing, and also, your sex drive, sexual activity, all those things seem to be improved. Higher incidences of erections and, performance and all those things, I've noticed since the protocol.
I wasn't having to, even during the day, urinate as much. That was a basic thing. Anytime that you have an improvement over what we did have as far as the urination problem, it's going to make other improvements in your life. First off, you're going to get a whole lot more rest. Difficult to get a good night's sleep when you're up every hour on the hour.
Well, I would say the issue of discomfort in sitting has improved at least 50%.
All my symptoms started to change when I took the Detoxamin after approximately 30 to 60 days. I noticed about 30 days, but I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I was going through that cycle again where it would go away and come back. But this time it gradually went away and it never came back. The frequent urination never came back. And now I found out I can drink water anytime I want, and I still don't have to get up. So I think it's even better than it was, and it's not because I'm slowing down the water. I'm actually drinking more water now, and it's still slowing down. So I'm doing really good.
I would recommend this to almost anyone with diabetes, heart problems, any of those kinds of things, arthritis.
I was surprised that it worked, only because there were so many things that I had taken over 5 years. I could write them all down, and I probably have 100 bottles, empty bottles in my cupboard. So I was surprised that this worked, but I'm happy.
I'd recommend it to anybody who has the symptoms that I've had and had the experience that I've had. It's well worth trying.
I don't really think anybody would have a problem using that protocol.
I definitely think this protocol is worth mentioning to people, especially guys that have prostate problems. Mm-hmm.
I believe that the intravenous chelation has its benefits and probably does impact the heavy metals, in your system, because I did see some improvement, but not to an extent where I felt that it was, how do I want to say it, completely effective. I believe that the suppository, because of the location of the prostate, it's working right there in that regional area, and you put all of the, the active ingredient right where it needs to be. So I believe over time that the suppository, the Detoxamin, would be more effective.
You need to try this. You need to try this Detoxamin program. I should have started the Detoxamin program, back when I was first diagnosed with prostatitis when I was 27, but see, you didn't have it back then.
Those are the things that a lot of guys are paying a lot of money for.
Definitely.
And
pay a lot more.
And buying a lot of drugs for. With this method, you don't need the drugs. The protocol and the program has definitely impacted my life in a positive way, and I'm very happy with the results.
My energy level seems to be up, and I think it's contributed to not having to get up at night, and I'm sleeping more soundly at night. So I'm sleeping through the night. I have more energy in the morning. I can get up. I get up without an alarm clock. 6 o'clock, I'm up, and I'm ready to go.
I do feel well, and the Detoxamin program, I don't need any scientific proof. I feel better. So
it generally improves your whole life when you're functioning well.
The suppository it's easy to insert. It's sort of like a set it and forget it sort of thing.
one of my daughters called me on the cell phone. And she said, "How are you?" And I said, "I have the strangest feeling. I feel like I could fly." You know, and it was just a feeling that I had when I was driving, you know, because I got up and I felt energetic. I felt like there was nothing wrong with me. I knew that there should be something wrong with me, but I felt like there was nothing wrong with me. And each day, progressively, I've kind of felt that, and it was almost like this week it reached a peak, and it reached a peak on Interstate 5.